Okay, so I believe it is time we start. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our next and final presenter in this panel, and that's Pavel Reich. And before you show your applause, I'll just briefly introduce him a little bit. Pavel Reich is works as an assistant professor, at the Faculty of Regional Development and International Studies at the Mendel University in Brno, and he is also the head of the Department of Language and Culture Studies, and also the Vice Dean for Strategy and Development. And in his research, he focuses on the analysis of political and corporate discourse, and implementing these findings in the courses of English for specific purposes. So please allow me to welcome Pavel Reich.
Good morning. So today I will be speaking about business English. I'm not sure whether there are any business English teachers. If you could raise your hand so that I have some idea. Not many, okay. But still, I think the things which I will present can actually be used as well. So I think it might be interesting even for teachers who are not business English teachers. So I will be speaking about business English, in particular one specific field, and that's human resources, or the English of human resources. I just try to specify the field a little bit to make the results a little bit more concrete. And I will look at this from one particular aspect, and that's evaluation. It's positive evaluation. So I will speak about expressions which convey positive evaluation and which are frequently used in the language of human resources. I will start with some theory. I'm sorry, it might be a little bit boring for some of you, but it's necessary to go through it to understand the interesting results, which I will show you at the end. So let's start with, well, yes, these are the objectives. So first of all, I would like to show you the most frequent positively evaluated words in HR English. That's the first outcome of the presentation. And second, I would like to compare this list of expressions with textbooks which deal with human resources English. And I would like to show you whether these books reflect or don't reflect the findings which I have made. Business English in general is widely based on research in applied linguistics, in corpus linguistics, and also in social sciences. In my case, I specialize in corpus linguistics, in particular in this case. So corpus linguistics or corpora in general are very useful for teachers of business English or for teachers of the field of any kind of English. And one of the most common outcomes are the word lists. So you can generate the most frequent words in some corpora or in some corpus, the corpus you make yourself, for example, and you can find out what the most frequent expressions are. So these are word lists. Then you can show these words to students, you can work with them in your classes, but you can also do research. I would like to draw your attention to the quote, which I have there. In ESP, comparisons between corpora and subcorpora are common to distinguish between disciplines or between language use and specialists in, and in general purpose contexts, or to identify discrepancies between the language used in teaching materials and the language used in the authentic texts and the textbooks try to model. So this is what I'm planning to do, or this is what I have done. My research or my study is not the first one in this field. There have been others. And as you can see, the previous studies found some mismatch between the language used in the textbooks and authentic language in the corpora. I'm speaking about evaluation, so I should also define what evaluation is or how I see it. This is a definition by Hansen and Thompson. It's a broad cover term for the expression of the speaker or writer's attitude or stance towards, viewpoint on, or feeling about the entities or propositions that he or she is talking about. There are different approaches, of course. I have three basic approaches here. The first one is the appraisal framework, which I'm going to talk about and which is actually the basis of my research. This is a part of the systemic functional linguistics. There are other approaches, or there are other different aspects of positive evaluation. The two other are, for example, orientational metaphor, which belongs to cognitive linguistics. This is, for example, when you have something which is up it's perceived to be positive when something is down, it's supposed to be, or it's perceived to be negative, or if something is in front, it's positive, if something is at the back, it's negative. So for example, in the language of HR or business language, we can use the word or show the word leader, and when somebody is a leader, he's in front, so this is someone we perceive positively. Or there's growth, or something is growing, or we're building something, so it's going up, so it means it's positive. So this is orientational metaphor. As for lexical semantics, this is just the basic perception of positive evaluation, let's say. We have the denotative meaning and the connotative meaning, and then if the connotations are very strong, they're positive, we perceive the expression as positive itself. But as I said, I will focus mainly, or I will focus in particular on appraisal system. As I said, this is a part, or this makes part of systemic functional linguistics. In systemic functional linguistics, there are 3 types of meaning: ideational, textual, and interpersonal, and this is a part of the interpersonal meaning. Interpersonal meaning is concerned with negotiating social relations, how people are interacting, including the feelings they try to share. So this is very important because when we're communicating with other people, of course, we're saying something, but we're also implying some emotions that we have about the things that we are saying. Okay, so these interpersonal meanings are categorized into 3 subsystems. So this is actually the appraisal framework, and it's attitude, engagement, and graduation. I will be talking about attitude, because engagement and graduation, they are not really inherent in the words themselves. Engagement is, for example, when I say I think something or I believe something, this is engagement, and graduation is using superlatives or something is more than something else. So this is not really important for us, but we will focus on attitude. Attitude is a general system responsible for expressions of appraisal, including emotional reactions, social judgments, and aesthetic evaluations. And again, there are 3 subsystems. So actually, this is a little bit complicated. There will be a lot of categories and subcategories, so I will try to show them all to you, but it's not really important to understand all of them. In the end, we will just come up with a lot of categories, which I will show you at the end. We have affect, which deals with the expression of positive and negative feelings. This is the first one. Then judgment, which is concerned with evaluations of other people, for example, admiration, criticism, praise, or condemnation of their morals, behavior, and character. And appreciation, which involves evaluation of products, performances, and natural phenomena. Here you can see a short or a small picture. So this is attitude. We have affect, judgment, appreciation. And then you can see how it's further categorized into different kinds of evaluation. We will look at each of them separately. So affect, we have happiness or unhappiness, security or insecurity, satisfaction or dissatisfaction, and inclination or disinclination. And you can see some examples here. For example, when speaking about inclination, this includes words like miss someone, long for something, yearn for something. Happiness, cheerful, love, for example. Security, together, comfortable, confident. And satisfaction, pleased, charmed, thrilled, and so on. So this was affect. Now let's move on to judgment. So this is when we're speaking about other people, their morals, and so on. We have two main categories, social sanction and social esteem, and these are further subcategorized. So when speaking about social sanction, we have veracity, how truthful someone is. So the positive expressions are credible, discreet, and so on. And propriety is the second one. This is how ethical or far beyond reproach someone is. For example, fair, kind, modest. And then we have social esteem. There are 3 subcategories: normality, capacity, and tenacity. You can look at the examples: lucky, stable, as far as normality is concerned, experienced, gifted, this is capacity, and, for example, patient, reliable, loyal, when speaking about tenacity. And then let's move on to appreciation. This is the last one. And here we have reaction, composition, and valuation. And this is, for example, when speaking about reaction, this is expression of quality or impact, like exciting, intense, beautiful, good. Composition, This is, for example, consistent, logical, clear, detailed, and valuation, innovative, original, authentic. So as I said, I know that there are a lot of categories, it's a little bit confusing, but once you really start working with the words, you try to, or you start to realize what category they are. So I would like to move on to the methodology. I would like to explain what I actually did. So I used Sketch Engine, which is a tool where you can work with corpora, you can create your own corpora, and you can analyze them. So I created a corpus of authentic texts. These texts were taken from hrdirector.com, which is a website where there are HR news and a lot of texts related to HR. And I took blogs and interviews because I wanted to have spoken language as well as written language. And the blogs are not very formal, so I just wanted to have texts which have not very formal texts to find out what kind of language is used in human resources. I took them, or they were published, all of these texts which I used in my corpus were published in 1918 and 1919, in 2018 and 2019. It was approximately 356,000 words. I generated the most common 500 positive keywords. I should also mention what a keyword is, because this is not the most common word, but keywords are generated when you compare the specialized corpus with a general corpus. In my case, this was the British National Corpus, and the corpus shows you what are the differences between this specialized corpus and the general corpus. So you see the words which are really very specific for the corpus you have created. This is just an example of HR director, and let's continue. So these keywords can be either positive or negative. The positive keywords are those which are very frequent in your specific corpus, and the negative keywords are those which are very infrequent in your specific corpus. So I work with positive keywords, which means the words which are very frequent in my specific corpus. Then you need to normalize the frequency, because of course my corpus was much smaller than the British National Corpus, so you have to count the number per million. So this is what I was working with. I will show you later. And I have already said before that the reference corpus was the British National Corpus. And I analyzed 3 HR English textbooks and compared them with the authentic texts. These textbooks, this is just to show you what it looks like. So these are the keywords in my corpus. You can see, so these are not the most common or not the most frequent words, but they are the words which are like extremely frequent compared to the British National Corpus. So this is how the frequency differs from a general corpus. You can see that HR, of course, is the first one. So this is very common in my corpus, but not very common in the British National Corpus. But the second one is well-being, which is actually a very positive word. And we can go on to words like agile, proactively, talent, insightful, savvy, and so on. So this is just so that you can see what it looks like.